Welcome back, viewers. Scrambling to find a Valentine before next week got you down? Well, don't worry, The Real Deal is here to keep you company. Who needs real-life companionship? That's what TV is for.
We've got Brandon Krakowski, Eli Brunsman, and a whole lot more. So before you go back to binging Friends alone for the third year in a row, stick with us, because we'll be there for you. And from Ball State University, The Real Deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm Logan Sowash.
And I'm Angelo Oriema. Yes, welcome back to The Real Deal Season 12. A lot has happened since we were last on the air. A chaotic start to our latest presidency, a new president here at Ball State, and that scoundrel Tom Brady ran away with yet another Super Bowl win.
And of course, the world of entertainment news halted for no one either. Here with a roundup of stories in this week's Hollywood headlines is Brandon Krakowski. Brandon?
Beyonce's pregnant! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The First Lady of the United States and noted best friend of Brandon Krakowski, Beyonce, announced that she is pregnant with not one, but two future Wunderkinds. Queen Bee made the announcement via her Instagram page, sharing an elegant and artistic pregnancy photo. Fans from across all spectrums were quick to congratulate her. The Love on Top singer has been on something of a hot streak for the past year. Her album Lemonade was widely regarded to be one of the best releases of 2016. She's the heavy favorite to win the Album of the Year Grammy, and now twins. It's unclear as to how a pregnant Beyonce will perform at Coachella later this year, but as you and I both know, she is a higher form of being than us mere mortals, so she'll be fine. Also unclear is whether or not Beyonce is planning some sort of Destiny's Child-style supergroup consisting of her three children. Turmoil in DC land as Ben Affleck steps down from directing his upcoming solo Batman movie. In a statement put out by Warner Brothers, Affleck said that he would not be able to focus on both giving his best possible performance and directing such a high-stakes movie. This is yet another worrying happening coming out of the DC camp, as the Flash movie also recently lost its second director. Look, I would normally be rooting for the filmmakers and creatives to sort through this turmoil and come out with a quality film. However, I want the DCU to come crashing to a violent, bloody, merciless end, so we'll just have to see where this train wreck goes. No release date has been attached to Affleck's solo Batman movie, but you can see Will Arnett's Batman in theaters in the Lego Batman movie, coming to theaters this week. And finally, Edgar Wright has announced that his latest film, Baby Driver, will be premiering at South by Southwest this year. On Twitter, Wright said that he was incredibly excited to share the film this early. The long-in-development crime comedy stars Ansel Elgort, John Hamm, and Jamie Foxx, and will be released to the general public in August. In my personal opinion, Edgar Wright is the greatest working comedy director, so any content from him is more than welcome. Hot Fuzz is the greatest comedy film of all time, bar none, so it'll be interesting to see yet another crime movie from Wright. That's it for this week's Hollywood Headlines. I'm Brandon Krakowski.
Thanks, Brandon. Say, Logan, what was your high school experience like?
Well, you know, those were rough years for me. Getting bullied, crying in the women's restroom, getting taken hostages by some Somalian pirates.
Wow, sounds rough.
Yeah, but when I got to college and met the divine earthly entity known as Louis Weisman, I knew everything would be okay.
Truly heartwarming. Speaking of high school, here with her review of The Edge of 17 is Eli Brunsman. Eli?
Recently, I went to Friday Night Filmworks and saw The Edge of 17. I've been wanting to see this movie for a while, and I liked it even more than I thought I would. This is a coming-of-age comedy that everyone who's been a teenager can relate to. I went into this movie thinking it was just going to be a comedy, but that was far from the truth. It made me teary-eyed within the first 10 minutes. The Edge of 17 follows 17-year-old Nadine, and we get to see her go through the most vulnerable time of her life. Not only do we relate to her, but we root for her to grow and become a better person. For Nadine, becoming a better person starts with becoming comfortable with herself. We see her learn to stop blaming others for her problems and becoming more open to making friends. One of my favorite things about The Edge of 17 was seeing Nadine's mom also go through a self-evaluation. It showed the way adolescence affects not only the teen, but also the parents. I also enjoyed the relationship between Nadine and her teacher because it reminded me of when I was in high school. I don't want to spoil anything, but as you can see in the trailer, Nadine goes to her teacher for advice quite often. I think more movies should depict relationships like this. The Edge of 17 is different from recent coming-of-age movies, and I think it will eventually be seen as a classic, like 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club. Overall, I give it a 10 out of 10 and can't wait to watch it again. I'm Eli Brensman. Check out this movie.
Thanks, Eli. Now, don't you forget about us when we go to commercial.
Are you gonna move?
Nope, frozen until we dissolve the black.
Well, all right. All right, well, stick around. We've got Margot Mitchell and a whole lot more.
Maybe I'm not. It's like a pipe dream.
This is the dream. It's conflict and it's compromise. And it's very, very exciting.
You're a computer at NASA. You let women handle that sort of...
Yes, it's an uphill battle.
Yes, they let women do some things at NASA, Mr. Johnson. And it's not because we wear skirts. It's because we wear glasses.
We go from being our father.
And again, and again.
Hi, you.
With each new life, I was learning a new lesson. Have we met before?
Where did you find that? Okay, ready?
There's this video that kills you 7 days after you watch it. The second it's over, the phone rings, and this voice says,
I've never seen a case like this before. 23 identities live in Kevin's body. Who are you?
Help me get out of here, Hedwig.
"You trying to trick me? I'll tell on you." Aren't you the...
Welcome back, viewers. To many film geeks, there are very few names that cause quite as many shudders as M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes, Mr. Shim Sham Thank You Ma'am has been the butt of jokes for the majority of the 2000s, and the movies he produced really didn't do anything to fight back against the ridicule.
Here to see if his latest film has any sort of redemptive qualities is Margot Mitchell. Margot?
I don't know what this says about me, but for the longest time, whenever I heard the word split, I always thought of bananas lying between several beautiful scoops of ice cream, and you get my point. However, I recently developed a negative feeling toward the word after watching the new movie, Split. Split is about a man that suffered throughout his childhood, and through that trauma, he developed multiple personality disorder, making his mind a home to not one, not two, but 23 different personalities. The man's name is Kevin, and he frequently goes to a psychologist, but he goes as a fashionista named Barry, which is still him, but not him. It's all quite confusing. Anyway, Barry, through these meetings, tells the doctor that he's really doing well, but she knows that something's wrong because he keeps emailing her with all his different personalities asking for help. And I know that this is confusing, but try to stay with me. This man with all the personalities ends up kidnapping 3 teenagers at the mall and puts them all in a small room. The 9-year-old inside of the 27-year-old's body tells them that they are there for a reason, but you won't figure that part out until the end, so I won't go into detail. The girls struggle to learn what's going on and if this man is serious or just messing around with them. It's all quite frightening and kind of humorous at the same time. The acting in this movie is spectacular. The main actor, James McAvoy, basically made this movie. His acting is pristine and insane. He could switch personalities with one simple face twitch and the audience would know that he was someone different. The plot of the movie was interesting, confusing, and kind of pointless though. I was pumped to see this movie but felt a little down at the lack of action and the ending. It was entertaining, but it didn't make my heart race like I was hoping. So out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 2. I'd say going to this movie is a valuable experience just for the main actor, but it looks like it's time for me to split. I'm Margot Mitchell. See you next time.
Thanks, Margot. Sounds like the ultimate Shyamalan plot twist is that Split turned out to be a quality movie.
I've got an even bigger one. The Real Deal will be right back after the break with even more incredible segments from Madison McGill and Shelby Deal. Also, I see dead people. No big deal.
Thanks for staying tuned. Are you prepared to be our guest this next segment?
No one writes like McGill, no one presents like McGill, no one talks about singles with Grande like McGill.
Here with a review of the new single from the Beauty and the Beast movie is Madison McGill, if that wasn't made clear enough. Madison,
Okay, call me a Disney nerd, but I've been on this live-action Beauty and the Beast movie hype for like a year now. It's one of my all-time favorite Disney princess movies. So when the final trailer dropped, I basically lost my mind. And lying within the trailer was the first time fans got to hear the new rendition of the iconic Beauty and the Beast classic song of the same name. Now, when I first heard it, I really had no idea who was singing it. I don't follow Ariana Grande or John Legend that closely. I just knew it wasn't Celine Dion. Though we all know Ariana Grande can do a mean Celine Dion. Anyone remember her SNL skit? Anyway, the trailer got me really pumped to hear the full song. I even went straight to Spotify after watching the trailer and tried to find it. But of course, it wasn't released till a few days later. And let me tell you, it's a great song, not as great as the original, but still great. It pays tribute to the classic arrangement while still bringing in a modern soulfulness. The instrumental is strikingly similar to the original arrangement, only less 90s. I would have figured they would have changed it up a bit, but I guess don't mess with something that's already a hit. Grande and Legend sound great individually on the track, but I don't think their voices blend together as well as Dion and Bryson's did. There also really isn't a precise standout moment for either Grande or Legend, which is surprising because I think that's one thing they're good at when they perform. Maybe it would be different if they performed it live, which I'm sure is bound to happen eventually. I also think that this version will fit well with the live-action movie. It already proved that when it was featured in the trailer. And while the song doesn't top the original, it can hold a candle to it, which is why I would recommend checking it out. Until next time, I'm Madison McGill.
Thanks, Madison. You can check out our further thoughts on the single on our website, where more Beauty and the Beast puns shall roam free.
Just when you thought you could escape Beauty and the Beast, the last rose petal hasn't fallen just yet.
Haha, again with the puns. Do you think a writer sleep well at night?
Absolutely not. Anyways, here to review the latest Beauty and the Beast trailer, along with two others, in this week's Trailer Watch is Shelby Deal. Shelby?
Today we are going to do a trailer watch. Why? Because movies are awesome. That's why. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is getting revived with a 5th installment. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Captain Jack Sparrow once again finds himself in a situation where someone wants to kill him. This time it's his old nemesis, Captain Salazar, who captains a ghost ship. Jack has to find the Trident of Poseidon, which would give Jack total control over the seas. The trailer for the movie was very intriguing. My favorite part about the trailer was there was not any dialogue at all until the very end, which made the whole thing very suspenseful. It also allowed focus on the great imagery of the pirate ships on the high seas and of the ghost pirates as well. The movie comes out May 26th, and I would definitely go see it because I've always loved these movies, and the trailer makes this movie look very cool. The next trailer I'm going to talk about is Beauty and the Beast. People either have a love or hate for adaptations for old tales. A live-action adaptation of Beauty and the Beast is one coming out March 17th, starring Emma Watson as Belle. My favorite part of this trailer is the Beast and the workers that got turned into the household items. The Beast looks so cool and very realistic, which is different from the animation. And seeing characters like Chip and Lumiere come to life in a way that's different from the animation, which is amazing. It's kind of nostalgic too because it reminds me of my childhood. I would definitely go see this movie because I'm a fan of the trend of live-action adaptations, and the characters coming to life are very fantastical. Another trailer we are looking at today is Kong Skull Island. This movie is about the origins of King Kong, which, okay, geeking out here, is very, very cool and exciting. The movie has Brie Larson, John Goodman, and Samuel L. Jackson, so the movie has a lot of talent. My favorite part of the trailer are the images that it shows. One of these being a palm tree being thrown at a helicopter, presumably by King Kong. Another cool image was a huge bloody handprint on the side of a mountain, again by King Kong. Then one of the last images of the trailer is a close-up of King Kong's eyes, which was a little bit chilling if I'm being honest. It comes out March 10th, and I will definitely go see it because the trailer made the movie look unbelievably amazing.
Thanks, Shelby. We also saw that Tom Hiddleston is going to be in Kong, so he's filling the blank space Taylor left him with a giant CGI gorilla.
Less cameras in that relationship, though.
Absolutely, though no monkey could possibly top my beloved Marcel from Friends.
And we brought it right back around. Stick with us for our final word.
Gotcha. Nice. Initialize master building.
Got it. Here you go, Father.
I need an elbow. I need a macaroni. Yes, we did it. Pretty cool, huh?
Why did you build this thing with only one seat?
Because last I checked, I only had one butt. Let's
go defeat the Joker.
Woo! We're going on a family trip. I can wear my costume too.
Well, luckily for us, you left your costume back in... Oh, no.
I am told that you no longer wish for me to honor my duty as your king because of the color of the wife I have chosen.
Who do you think will accept you? You belong to the whites, but they won't want you either.
I am ready to serve you because I love my people. I love this land. But I love my wife.
Now you will see how an empire defends itself, Mr. Karma.
What do you want, Anastasia?
This time, no rules, no punishments, and no more secrets.
Looking so crazy in love, got me looking so crazy in love. Baby, you got me.
For my final word today, I want to bring up a little gripe I have that frequently appears in various films and TV shows of all kind. It may not seem like a big deal at the time, or you may never pay it much attention, but as soon as you tune into it, I assure you, you will never be able to unsee it again. The gripe it mentioned is how characters in movies never, ever say goodbye when ending a phone call. I mean, stick with me here and think about it, all right? The protagonists will be chatting away, they'll learn something of value, and abruptly end the call without so much as a warning. Instead, all we get as the audience is a got it, then click. Or you can count on me, then click. Or gotta go, gonna watch this hit 2006 comedy starring Adam Sandler possessing reality-altering remote control. Click. Now these endings are regularly accompanied by slamming down the phone on the receiver, or closing their flip phone, or leaving the phone booth phone dangling midair. The relevance of the communication devices doesn't matter to these people. Now with all that on the table, I ask you viewer, with all the seriousness that mankind has to offer, what kind of human animal does not even give the proper goodbye before ending the conversation? I mean, if I was on the phone with, say, my mom, and the call just abruptly ended, she would assume that I was either like stabbed in the head through the phone, was in the blast radius of an EMP, or worst of all, that my telephone provider was Sprint. At the end of the day, we could be looking at The Godfather, The Shawshank Redemption, Citizen Kane. It doesn't matter. When a character in a movie does not give any sort of farewell to end a phone call, it's so immersion breaking for me that someone may as well walk into the shot, onto set, with a sign that says, "Don't be fooled, Angelo. You're watching a movie to distract yourself from the fact that your life is pathetic and you're very, very sad." Well, congratulations, movie. You got me. Now, with that being said, Logan, do you have any gripes that often bother you watching a movie?
Angelo, to say that I have a few gripes would be an understatement. While I'll try not to go into as much detail as you did with whatever that was, I wanted to address a specific trope that makes my eyes roll whenever I see it pop up in a film. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic comedy, a summer blockbuster, or a children's film. The misunderstanding trope is one of the most infuriating things to watch in a film. If you don't know what that trope is, it's basically where one character keeps a crucial piece of information from another character as an attempt to help them, leading to a conclusion where character 2 feels betrayed or angry at character 1 from keeping said information secret. It's such a lazy thing to put into a script. It's almost as if writers don't know that talking stuff out is much better than keeping it from one another. Plus, keeping information from someone is the worst. It's like the opposite of doing what's best for them, especially when the information could actually be very helpful. To give you an example, look no further than Disney's 1967 classic, The Jungle Book. Later on in the film, Bagheera the panther tells Baloo that Shere Khan is trying to kill Mowgli, the main character, if you already didn't know. So what does Baloo do in response to this information? Does he, I don't know, tell Mowgli the truth and tell him to go with Bagheera to safety? Of course not. That would make sense. Instead, he makes up the story about how he's been lying to Mowgli this whole time and that he doesn't like him. What's even worse is that Mowgli falls for this. It not only makes Baloo look like an awful character, but also makes Mowgli look incredibly stupid. What's even more surprising is that they kept this scene in the 2016 remake. Out of all the nostalgic nods you make to the image in the original, why in God's name does Jon Favreau, the director of the remake, think that was worth keeping? It's honestly one of the worst parts of the original film. And to be clear, this trope doesn't kill a film. I can still watch films that use it, especially if they don't linger on the misunderstanding. It's just that it's a lazy attempt to create contrived conflict. And when the film has been pretty good up to that point, I don't need that addition. Thankfully, I haven't seen it as often in current films as I did years back. However, that doesn't mean it's not still annoying when I see it pop up every once in a while. That's right, I'm looking at you, Captain America Civil War. Yikes. And with all of that said, that wraps up the show for this week. Be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages for news and updates on all things entertainment. I'm Logan Sowash.
And I'm Angelo Oriema. We'll see you next time.